Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me again in our chemistry lesson, and I hope that you are all fine. Okay, now let's move on to our discussion on some of the objective questions that you face problem. Previously, you have already done these questions. We are now discussing about the problems that you face. Okay, from the record that you gave me, you have problem for number 7. Okay, so let's look at number 7. Now, if I have not discussed the questions that you have problem, at the end of this lesson, you can still tell me. Okay, no problem. I'll still discuss with you. Now, according to question 7, it shows an electrolytic circuit using solid sodium chloride. Now, the keywords are, the keywords here will be the solid. Okay, now what can you tell about solid? Some response from you, please. What can you tell about the word solid?
No free moving ion.
Okay, no free moving ions. Good. Now, this is for everybody. When you see solid, meaning no free moving ions. Okay. Now, when there is no free moving ions, can it conduct electricity? Yes or no? Shall we hear from some of our friends? Can it conduct electricity? Can we hear from
No,
Ethan? Who was
no.
answered just now? Very good. Who?
Service.
Okay, good. Okay, therefore it does not conduct electricity. Now, does not conduct electricity. Now, when it does not conduct electricity, can it be an electrolyte? The answer is no, non-electrolyte. Okay, now why is it non-electrolyte? What is the definition of electrolyte? Can you please jot down? Jot down the definition of electrolyte. Okay, and I would like to hear from our friend. Sangeeta, can you please tell me what is the meaning of electrolyte? If it is wrong, never mind, it's okay. The important part is you try.
Compound that can conduct electricity in molten state or aqueous solution.
Okay. Sangeeta says the electrolyte is a compound. I'm writing out for you a compound, or you can put a substance that conducts electricity in molten or aqueous state. Is it? Sangeeta, is this what you meant?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now this definition is good, but then not complete yet. Okay, can someone complete for me? Who can complete for me? Anyone can complete for me? No one, then I don't tell you the answer. Who can complete? Yanjun, please complete for me. First part, conduct electricity. Second part, what should it do?
Undergo chemical change.
Okay, and undergo chemical change. Or in some books, they put it as chemical decomposition. Okay, then only it will be the correct definition of electrolyte. Okay, now the question asks, which of the following change would cause the bulb to light up? Now they want to make the bulb to light up. When you want to make the bulb to light up, meaning you make it to conduct electricity. When you want to make it to conduct electricity, meaning you want it to produce. You want it to produce what? You want it to produce the free moving ions, where just now don't have. Okay, so what can we do to make it to produce free moving ions? Okay, now we are going to scroll down to see our answers. Now look at A, add more solid. Because of the word solid, it cannot be the answer. We don't want it to be solid. We want it to be solution. Because electrolyte can conduct electricity at molten or aqueous state. Okay. So adding water is the good choice because it makes the presence of the free moving ions when added with water. Okay. Why you don't add ethanol to the solid sodium chloride? Okay, now what is the type of compound that we can say the ethanol? What is the type of compound of ethanol? What compound is this? First of all, we want to know what is the chemical formula of ethanol. Can we hear from one of our friends who can volunteer to tell me your answer? No one. GK, can I hear from you?
C2H5OH.
Okay, C2H5OH, correct, good. C2H5OH. Now, I need you all to tell me what are the elements that form this compound. What are the elements? Shall we hear from Jiqian? What are the elements? Who don't know elements, show your hand. Who don't know elements, you show any sign here. You know, no one show any sign, so you know what to answer. Now, Jiqian, tell me your answer, please.
Carbon.
Carbon, some more.
Hydrogen.
Some more. One more. What is that? One more.
Oxygen.
Yes, you have told about the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, this one shows the elements that present. Why I ask you this? Because it came out before in SPM. Simple question, but yet it gives you marks. Now, we continue. From here, we know that all the elements that form it will be a non-metal. When all non-metal, it is actually forming the covalent compound. Okay, now when it is covalent compound, meaning it will not make this sodium chloride to dissolve because we know that the sodium chloride, it is an ionic compound. When it is an ionic compound, it dissolves in water and it does not dissolve in organic solvent. Okay, now you replace the carbon electrode with copper electrode, no point because it is not helping. It does not make the presence of the free moving ions. Okay, now we move on to question number 9. The diagram shows the energy level diagram for the chemical reaction. What type of reaction is this? Shall we hear from Shakira? What type of reaction? Is Shakira there? Shakira, what's your answer? Okay, Shakira was saying this is exothermic reaction. Okay, correct. Why exothermic reaction? I want explanation from one of you. Xiaoyuan, why is this exothermic reaction? Why is it exothermic reaction? Who can help her? Yuan Kai, can you help her?
The total energy of product is lower than the total energy of reactant.
Okay, now maybe you can't hear him, but I can hear. He was saying that the energy level of the products is lower than the reactants. I repeat, the energy level of the products is lower than the reactants. Okay, therefore heat is released to the surrounding. Now, if you were given this energy level diagram and you are asked to state the type of reaction, which is exothermic reaction, and you are asked to explain, this is how you explain. Therefore, we are going to look for an exothermic reaction here. Your answer is only this one, B, adding water to solid sodium hydroxide. And actually, this B is this part B here is the way to remove clogs from drains. Okay, to remove clog from drains. Okay, now when you add water to solid ammonium nitrate, this is an endothermic reaction. Whenever you see water added to an ammonium salt, any salt with ammonium with ammonium, then it is the endothermic reaction. Now, for this potassium hydrogen carbonate in our lesson yesterday in the evening, I had lesson. We talked about dissolving the solid sodium hydrogen carbonate. Same thing. It's just that we change the cation from the sodium to become the potassium ion. It is still an endothermic reaction. And the last one we were talking, heating the solid copper 2 carbonate. Okay, now you have to differentiate between the combustion and the decomposition. Now, the combustion is an exothermic reaction. Combustion exothermic, it is like you burn paper. When fire occurs, that one is combustion. But when we are talking about chemical decomposition, this is the decomposition, where when you are heating the copper 2 carbonate, when you write the chemical equation, you don't show plus O2. No. This one should not have here. No. Okay. So this is chemical, this is decomposition. Now what we are going to get is the copper 2 oxide and carbon dioxide. Okay. That's why B is your answer. Now the next part, we are going to move on to question number 11. Question number 11. Okay, now it shows the apparatus set up to prepare copper 2 sulfate. Now, is copper 2 sulfate a soluble salt or an insoluble salt? If you think that it is a soluble salt, please put a like. Is this a soluble salt or insoluble salt? If you think it is soluble, you please put a like. Thank you, Samyu. Okay, thank you, Alvin and Kachun. Who else? Who don't know? You put a clap. Who don't know? You put a clap. All know, everyone knows, Okay, so now actually this copper 2 sulfate is a soluble salt. Now you are putting solid M, a solid, and aqueous N. This aqueous should be an acid. Okay, if you are confused on how to get the answer, you are doing like this. Okay, now you cut it half. You have cation and anion. Now anion, the anion will always tell you about the acid needed. Okay, so what is the acid which contains sulfate ion? From your syllabus, from what you study, there is only one, which is the H2SO4. Now, from the copper 2 ion, we know that this copper is less reactive metal. So in order for us to produce this soluble salt, we have 4 methods. Acid react with alkali. The acid react with metal. Acid react with metal oxide. And acid react with metal carbonate. Okay. Now, the first part, acid and alkali cannot be used. What's the reason? Because this is not a group 1 salt. It is also not an ammonium salt, so cannot use. Now, second one, acid and metal cannot use as well. Why? Because the copper is less reactive. For acid and metal oxide, acid and metal carbonate, we can use it. Okay? Now, we can use it. Therefore, your answer will be which one? Now, look at our option. M should be this. M can be the copper 2 oxide and the N will be the acid, sulfuric acid. That's why your answer is CCAT. Now we continue to question 12. Which represent the particles of hydrochloric acid in water? Now, what happened to the hydrochloric acid in water? Can you please tell me? Someone please tell me what happened to the hydrochloric acid in water? No one.
Dissociate.
Okay, dissociation. Good. Okay. The hydrochloric acid will dissociate in water. And what type of dissociation? Is it dissociation, complete dissociation or partially dissociated? Dissociate completely or partially?
Completely.
Okay, who thinks that it dissociate completely, show a like? Who thinks it dissociate partially, show a clap? Like for dissociation of complete dissociation, clap shows partially dissociated. Okay, thank you very much. What? Okay, now, I have a question to some you. Hydrochloric acid, a strong acid or a weak acid? Some you? Hydrochloric
Strong
acid,
acid.
strong or weak?
Strong.
Okay, good. When it is a strong acid, we go back to our definition. Strong acid is an acid which dissociates completely in water to produce high concentration of hydrogen ion. That's why some you it should not be dissociated. It should not be dissociated partially, but it is dissociated completely. Okay. Now, when it dissociates completely, this HCl molecule will form the hydrogen ion and the chloride ion. Okay. So, which diagram represents this? For number 12. Your answer should be CCAT. Okay, your answer should be, your answer should be B-boy. Should be B-boy. Okay, change your answer, please. Now, if it is something like D, then it will represent the weak acid. For example, the CH3COOH. Then maybe this one is a hydrogen ion. This one, the one that I color it pink, will be the ethanoate ion. Some of them are still in the molecular form. Some of them are in ionic form. Okay, so number 12, please change your answer. It should be B. Thank you. Now we continue for number 15. Number 15, Now, what does question 15 ask us? We want to pair up the homologous series, which one is correct, with its general formula. Now, for part A, why is it wrong? What should it be? Can we hear from our friend? Today, I have not heard from our friend Katnish yet.
Because should be CnH2n plus 2.
Okay, good. CnH2n plus 2. Here, plus 2. Okay. Now, carboxylic acid, why is it wrong? Katnish, call a friend, please.
Alvin.
Alvin, why is this wrong?
Sure, it should be CnH2n plus 1 COOH.
Yes, this should be the general formula for carboxylic acid. Okay. Now, can you see this one? The CnH2n plus 1 COO, this long one, should be the general formula for who? Alvin, call a friend.
Yuan Kai, sir.
Okay, Yuan Kai, this one should be for who?
Esther.
Yes, this should be for Esther. So your answer is CCAT. Okay, now we continue to this question, which is question number 19. Okay, let's look at 19. Why does the excessive use of aspirin can cause stomach ulcer? Now, previously, I told you that at the structure of the aspirin, you will see the COOH. the acidic part. So your answer is actually D, donkey. Now, later I show you the structure of the, now I show you the structure of the aspirin. Hold on, I'm searching for it. Okay, now everyone, can you see the screen? What I am showing here? Can you see this one? This part, what you see here, this part is actually the COOH. This is the C, the O, this one double bond O and the OH. Then you can see it here. C double bond O, OH. Okay. Now this is the ring. See here. Now if you want to look at this molecular structure and the structural formula, you can actually go to this website, molview.org. Then you type the name here. Okay. Then you can see. Now with the presence of this COOH, you are going to have it is an acid. Okay. Can you see this one? I hope you can. Okay, now we continue. We continue with the question of our objective part here. Now, this is our question number 19 done. We are now at question number 23. Now, question 23, what does it say? It shows the element with a melting point at 1455 degrees Celsius. And the more important part is it is forming a green chloride. Can you see? Green chloride. Okay. Now, what is the position of the element? Okay. From the green here, it shows us that it is one of the special characteristics of the transition elements, where for the transition element, the special characteristic, number one, form colored compound. Okay, this is the colored compound. Now, can someone tell me what is the second special characteristic? Please tell me another one special characteristic from you. Mei Ying, I have not heard from you today. Mei Ying? Or anyone? Any volunteer?
So form complex ion, sir.
Good. Form complex ion. One more. One more.
Act as catalyst.
Okay, good. One more.
Has more than one oxidation number.
Good. Has more than one oxidation number. So these four, you please jot down. So this is the transition element. Now we continue. Another question that you have problem is number 31. Now let's move on to number 31. Now in question 31, it says that the information shows for experiment 1 and 2. Now what is difference between experiment 1 and 2? Can you see the sulfuric acid and the hydrochloric acid? Now you are asked to get the graph which represent the rate of reaction for these two experiments. So now we will know that experiment will have a higher rate. So which one will have a higher rate? Experiment 1. Your answer will be, your answer might be A. Your answer might be A or D, okay? A or D, this one or this one. So this one is out, this one, out, out. What's the reason? Because the one should be having higher rate. Higher rate means it is steeper like this, okay? Now, next part, we are going to calculate the MV over 1000, which is the number of mole of hydrogen ion. Okay. Now from our question, we will get that for part 1, the sulfuric acid will dissociate completely in water to form 2 mole of hydrogen ion because it is a diprotic acid. For the HCl, it will form only 1 mole. Because of the presence of 1 mole, therefore, the volume of the gas which is released for experiment 2 will be lower than experiment 1. Therefore, your answer is D donkey. That's why 1 is higher, 1 is lower. Okay, I hope you can understand until here. Next part, the next question, we are talking about question number 33. Now, question 33 said that which of the following can be converted to polymer through polymerization? Now, when we want to get a substance which can convert to polymer, meaning we are now actually looking for a monomer. I have mentioned many times, a monomer will consist of a carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, so which one has got a carbon-carbon double bond? At least one. This one double bond, okay, but then it is not carbon-carbon, so this one out. This one the same thing, out. This is the carbon-carbon double bond, so this is correct. Here has got 2, some more correct. Okay, so your answer is 3 and 4. Now next part, we are now talking about question 44. I think for question 44 onwards, I am going to discuss using another link. Okay, because this link remain another 3 minutes only. Okay, so you are going to log out this link, log in using another new link. Thank you. I see you then.